Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast, episode number 109. Today, I think, is just going to be a regular Q&A.
episode.
Yeah. Did you get any questions?
I haven't really looked.
I haven't. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're scraping the barrel.
No, we're not.
We have said.
But I'll do an update. Last one was it with Sinai or was it with us? No, it was just me and
Last
you,
one
wasn't
was
it?
us.
Yeah.
We have said we're going to do the rate your physiques.
We spoke about it yesterday.
My-
We disagreed.
My opinion is we should go back and find the people who sent them in, who kindly sent them in, who we haven't got back to. Reece thinks we should just sack them off and
It's
put
been
up a new
so,
one.
yeah, they're probably grown. Their physique's probably way
Yeah,
better now. It's been
massively
like 2
improved.
months. So I was thinking we just
Tell
do
you
it
what,
all
let's ask the listeners. We'll do a poll. Let us know what you'd rather. Would you rather us go back?
and do that every time, or just do one that's like first come first serve. Because in my opinion, this is what my analogy was. If you call in for like a radio station to recommend a song, they're not going to go back to the people they didn't pick the phone up to.
No,
they're
but we're not Radio 1. We're not that high.
No, but I'm not
These
saying
numbers. Radio 1 get more than that.
No, I'm not saying we are, but they're not. They're just going to go, he didn't get chosen. And I feel like for us, we're going to probably.
I don't think that's very nice for like the community that we have. We have a small community that are like really sound.
But some people like they put like, and also we did some new stipulations. We asked them if they could send us stats, stuff like that. Where you don't have stats, I feel like we could do it. We could be more efficient now. And don't disagree.
Fantastic. It's like half iced because I had it in the freezer.
I put mine in the freezer every morning. Cold white monster. I feel like no matter how many you have, that you always have the same like reception of like, yeah, it's just
Like a
lovely.
cold pint.
It's just a lovely drink. Every time I have one, no matter what. it's
Maybe
just
that's
like,
what people think when they have pints.
What you have a pint and go, that's a lovely.
That's what a lot of people do. Like they'll go, just a cold pint. Like for us, it's a cold white monster.
Yeah, maybe.
We turn the logo to the front, mate. It's a sponsor in the video.
There we go. Sponsored by Monster Energy Ultra. So yeah, so it's going to be a bit of an update, a bit of a chat. Usual same old. So Finn.
But we will do some of the radio physiques soon.
Yeah,
Do a
that'll
poll.
be
Answer the poll.
maybe next week. But next week, mate, we're going to struggle. We're going to have to probably do it Monday, I'd say, or Tuesday.
When do you go?
I go Wednesday, and then I'm not back till like I go. So just so people know what we're talking about, I go to Skeg Vegas, on Wednesday. We're staying in a lockdown caravan because that's what we used to do when I was like 12. So that was my holiday as a kid when I was younger. Me and my mum and like Chrissy, mum's boyfriend. And,
Joe Hart.
Yeah, Joe Hart. He looks like Joe Hart. Oh, he did. I don't know what he does anymore, but he used to look like Joe Hart. If I could find a photo,
listening, mate, send a photo and rate your physique.
Yeah, to be fair, he did train. So yeah, that's it. To be fair, he was actually an influence of me getting into the gym because he used to always train. But either way, we used to go to Skegness, and we used to stay in like a lockdown caravan. So I said throughout my prep, like, I actually really like that in the summer. Like, I had fun like memories as a kid. My mum was like, "Do you want to do it so I can come?" And I was like, "Yeah, sound." And then we're back on Sunday for the PCA first timer show. Jack Kelly is in the physique class, so that'll be exciting. Really excited.
Oh my
to
God,
see
is he
how-
related to me and Sinai?
Oh wow, no, Kelly surname. Oh my God, yeah, wow, yeah, it's Finn's brother. So yeah, Jack Kelly is competing. So I've got a client competing on the Sunday, which will be wicked. Always a good day. Sinai's got about 25 girls because it's her first time as well. Sinai's like first timers, like literally that's what she does.
It's a weird one for Sinai because obviously she's not coaching them,
No.
so it's like there's not really pressure there.
Yeah, but then she's also like,
But-
if they look awful posing wise,
Yeah.
it doesn't like it.
There is
yeah,
pressure there
yeah.
to an extent.
But then, not like it's almost an awkward one because like posing coaches can only do so much in certain situations.
So can a regular
Yeah,
coach.
true.
At the end of the day, like you can do everything in your power,
Yeah.
and it's sometimes like.
But I don't think
It's
like
difficult to
if
get
Sinai,
people.
let's say if Sinai had like a girl
Shady.
who's going to win the overall, like she was wicked. Sinai's not going to be turning up to that show going, "Oh, fucking I hope she does well. Oh, this is going to be a wicked day. She looks awesome." Or let's say someone doesn't look good. Sinai's not going to be like, "Oh, I hope she does this well." Like,
No, I think it's
Where
more
we-
so you're not looking at results. I think to be fair, even for us, like we're not just looking at the result. Like the result is obviously great, and you want them to get the best result possible. But the main result is how do they actually look. Like it's probably the same for Sanaya. For her, it's less involvement of how they look. It's more so like, I just hope they look like they enjoyed themselves. They presented themselves well.
Yeah.
Like, and she's there to be able to like let them know, like give them feedback while they're actually on stage.
Yeah, which is the most important thing, especially if they've got multiple shows.
And if they've not got anyone else there doing that.
Yeah, true.
Because like, obviously I was there for all your shows, like letting you know what you need to do, like posing wise, while you were actually doing it.
Yeah.
Because you can't see yourself and you can't tell the lighting and things like that.
Yeah.
But if they
Yeah,
haven't
like
got
the
a
side,
coach
the
there
side
or
chest
friends
at the
there or
universe, like that
yeah,
was
but all
yeah. Basically, this
simple
again.
that.
No, it look good. It's just the lighting.
No,
The lighting at the universe was a bit weird, where basically the way that I was hitting any side pose, it was just like wasn't
hiding all of his lower body
Yeah.
detail,
Yeah, and it was like literally.
which was your best part of your physique.
Yeah. So it was like, don't do that. The lighting's weird. The light, like, it was too high.
You got the same outfit on, just realised. It's not the exact same, obviously, but
Mine's a darker. Mine's a washed.
no, it's different. But I mean, we've got a black t-shirt, grey. But you got
You got
white socks on.
Yeah,
It's like-
white socks.
That's weird.
Yeah,
I
copy
feel like
each
quite
other.
a lot we have the same outfit when we don't mention anything.
Yeah, because you copy me. That's why.
Hardly.
Think you do.
Wait, when was the last time I wore these shorts?
What shorts are they?
Just Nike shorts.
Oh, okay. Fair
That's
enough.
what I mean. Like, it's a bit of a weird scenario.
Yeah, we do that a lot, but we
I
do
don't
have.
really copy it. You copy my sliders.
No, I just got these from Represent Me.
Yeah,
I had
like-
yeah.
Mine are better.
Yeah, I do like them.
Yeah, I need washing again. I've tried to wash them today.
Yeah. Anyway, we're a bit all over the place. So basically, guys, I go away Wednesday to Saturday, or Wednesday to Sunday, back on Sunday for the PCA show, and then we fly to Lanzarote on the Monday. So that'll be nice. But it means that obviously podcast wise,
On the
might be-
Monday?
yeah, on the Monday. Yeah,
Oh,
so
that'll be the next Monday.
yeah. So next week we're probably gonna have to do the podcast on Monday, I'd say.
We'll try and get a couple of episodes, like, or at least a bit more content
Yeah.
if you're away.
Yeah, that'll be sound. I've got a rest day, so you can come round before or after you train, probably after if you want.
Yeah, I'll be after.
Yeah, that's cool. And then Tuesday we'll be at Rotherham, and that'll probably be the last session, I'd imagine. Which is weird. I spoke to Josh about this yesterday. We haven't really trained. It's been nice when we trained. Yesterday was nice.
Josh was saying that on Monday, he was like, you got in the car, and he was like, oh, I'm going to have to sit in the back when Reece gets here. I was like, Reece isn't coming. He was like, what? We
Yeah.
always trained together. I was like, not for the past, like, 2 months,
Yeah.
but probably trained, like, 5 times
Yeah,
together.
5-6 times. It's been weird. Probably the longest amount of time that we've not really trained. But when we have
And
trained,
bliss.
it's been nice.
I would love to do it that way.
No, mate, yeah, it hasn't been. It's been nice. It's been nice when we trained. But saying that, mate, come on, don't be harsh. Don't be
No,
trying.
your
Don't...
training's been shit. It's a bit better now.
It's better now. It's a lot better now. But yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to have trained in the last couple of weeks. To be fair, like I'm up to an alright spot now. But yeah, it wasn't. It would have been more so annoying because I would have been like, I just can't do that. I just can't. I can't even do that.
Even before, like, when we were training together, we weren't really training together anyway, because, like, Monday we had different presses, and you stopped doing, like, the same kind of presses anyway, I think, didn't you?
I don't think so. The Monday sessions.
Ages ago on a Monday, like, you just weren't, like, even when Will came, you were like, oh, my session's different. That was like
Will-
before your first show.
Oh yeah. Oh mate, I was more talking before that. I wouldn't class that as like that far away, but I know it is.
Yeah,
I got
it's
there,
like, what,
It's
probably
7,
2-3
it's,
months.
it's 8 weeks ago.
2
Then
months
I
ago.
don't think of that because of how it's been. I haven't even thought that. Like I'm like I see someone will reply to a story that'll be like 8-9 weeks ago, and I'm like, that's like a month ago.
Yeah.
Like, but it doesn't. It's a long time. But yeah, I know what you mean. That session was a bit different. But before then, we were doing that session with the reverse.
Yeah, it was
buttons,
normal.
Like lowering
Tuesday
your
was
Smith.
pretty normal.
Tuesday's been the same. Pretty
Wednesday was...
much, pretty much the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. And then Friday was
you
quads.
would
but
do it different to me.
now that's going to be more similar. But then at the same time, we've been like out of sync. Even the Friday session, like I trained early with Sam last week. I'm doing the all-in bodybuilding shoot tomorrow.
Yeah.
Saturday we did train, but now we're not. So it's a little bit. It's kind of the process of like
Busy,
we
innit?
kind of crossed over on the stairs in the sense of
I
like,
shouldn't do that.
yeah, you shouldn't. Bad luck. My mum always says ginger twins if you do that. So you get ginger twins. And I've got freckles, so
That's horrible. What about it? Shouldn't be being horrible to gingers.
Sorry, gingers.
Sorry, any ginger
yeah,
children
it's my mum
watching.
who said it. So have you ever heard that saying before? So yeah, so basically we've kind of crossed over on the stairs. Ginger, we're now both going to have ginger twins. Me and Finn are both going to conceive a child
Right.
that's going to be ginger.
We
Oh no,
conceive
we're
it
going to be
together.
two. Yeah, we're going to conceive two children that are both going to be ginger. In the sense of like I've been kind of like prepping into the shows where training is kind of manipulated off the week ahead and the show ahead. And as a result of that, like it's not going to be the same sort of stimulus. And then meanwhile, Finn's been like dieting. His obviously goals are going to be a little bit different to mine. And then it's almost been a case now where like a fair few of our sessions do align, but at the same time, I said this to Josh yesterday, like I haven't had any time, like I haven't had like a week of just doing the same stuff since I finished, which has been, it's a very strange. I'm not very good at dealing. I'm not very good at dealing with
that
it.
feeling.
I'm not
But
very
then
good.
also,
yeah.
we said this before, like you've got a life.
Yeah,
like
and it's
it's
important,
nice
yeah.
to go on holidays and
Yeah.
things like that after a prep, but it's also nice to get back into a really solid routine. You can't really.
No,
but
when you messaged me on Tuesday about bowling, I was like, I will, 100%. I'm not going to not go, but it's like I just want to do nothing. Like, I just want to have a night. Like today, for example, I've got nothing planned for today, like other than this and
I'll go
physio.
bowling.
Yeah, let's go bowling. But I just do that every night. I'm doing
normal,
something.
Though. Like only reason I mentioned it was because Josh was over.
Oh no,
So it's
100%.
it's nice to like do something when he's made a long trip outside of just training.
And it's good to be sociable. And going bowling is going bowling, and going to train within 10 is nice. I enjoyed the day. It was a wicked day, but it was more so like obviously work-wise, always playing a bit of catch-up, not being in sync. Like I haven't had like. Do you remember when we were just like we had those weeks like you do in an off-season where it's just like you're doing the same stuff every single time. Every session's the same. You're doing the same sessions.
Yeah.
Like I haven't just had a week of just consistency in relation to just routine. But it's funny because people would probably listen to that and go, oh, okay, but in reality, my routine is sound.
Yeah,
like,
it's still,
I've still done cardio daily.
Be...
Yeah, I've got up at the same time. I've gone to bed at the same time. I've done cardio daily. My meals have been at the same time, bare, like maybe an hour here or there if I'm doing something a little bit different. But it's more so for me, I'm very, very like almost, I'm very much like robotic.
Exact same. It feels like it's like way off.
Especially when you come out of prep, where everything in that prep is so like for like.
I don't think it is though, because if you think about it towards the end, like your routine's very different because you've got shows on different days. Some weekends it's a Saturday, some weekends it's a Sunday. Some weeks you're refeeding or you're not. Like it's actually a less routine than off season.
Yeah, I'd say but
you make more manipulations to food, more manipulations to expenditure. Like it is like obviously I'm in a very good routine regardless. Like year round with those that are. Yeah. But my routine now, if you were to look at it from a strictly like just routine, what changes and how often? Like a prep obviously changes loads more than an off season. I think like the last probably like 6 months of my off season, like I barely had a food increase.
Oh yeah.
I was just getting fat.
Yeah.
Stopped on meals.
Stopped on meals and getting fat.
Every night.
208 pounds.
Yeah. 233.
But no, it's just one of them. Like at the end of the day, you've almost got to enjoy it, like in the sense of you've got to enjoy some social occasions. You've got to be human, but yeah. So go on holiday, that'll be nice. I'm really looking forward, to be fair, to going away, which is nice. Just going to chill out. I'll still be working, but I'm going to have a few days. I'm going to say to clients like checking on these days, but I'm going to have like because my weekends aren't that busy, so I might say like I'll have my weekend. I might move the clients on the weekend and then have like Friday and maybe like Monday as a bit of a lesser work day as well. And just kind of have like a long weekend while I'm away of just like chilling out a bit. But then I also think in the back of my head, I don't have that many check-ins on Saturday and Sunday. Just work the morning and then enjoy the rest of the day. But then I do think
there's a difference between like having a day where you can literally just get up and be like, right, I've not actually got like direct work to do.
Yeah.
Like I remember when me and Shannon went to Italy. Yeah. And obviously I had prep check-ins, but that was it. So like I had morning updates from everybody. But I didn't have any like main check-ins. Like obviously there was still a bit of work. Yeah. I think there was like 1 or 2 days where like there wasn't any work at all. So I'd say like the prep people like would be checking like every other day or whatever. Yeah. And like those days it was like even if I could like go an hour and not check my phone. Yeah. Like and that'd be sound. Yeah. Like that's unheard of. Like if I had to go an hour and not check my phone in the morning now, I'd be like already the whole day would be upside down. I'd be miles behind. And I'd be like, right, okay, I need to crack on and catch up. Yeah. But like it was like, I can actually chill. And like me and Shannon would just we'd have breakfast and then we'd chat for 20 minutes rather than me with like, get everything done.
Second that final mouthful is in it, so you're back on your phone, you're back checking what's happening.
So it does make a big difference, but that you're not actually having to do any work. Like you could literally just have the Saturday, Sunday off. Yeah. Do the Friday and the Monday a bit busier. Yeah. Put your check-ins from those days onto those other days. It'd be an extra like 6 or something on both. Like.
Yeah, I get it. And while I'm away, I'm doing it on voice notes anyway, so I can be a bit more time efficient. I don't have to be like in front of a laptop. No. That's one thing. Like on holidays, like just doing like voice note check-ins. Even if I always say to clients, like, sorry, it's a voice note. I'm on my laptop because most of the time I'm still on my laptop. But it's not. You don't have to be like sat there looking presentable. Yeah. And also you could just be like walking down to the pool,
to the beach,
and and literally like, or you could just be walking to like breakfast, and you'd be like, oh cool, I got a 6-minute walk. I'll start checking just before, or I'll sit down and get checking done.
I really enjoyed in Morocco, like doing the voice notes as check-ins. Like I really enjoyed it. Like I still had my laptop in front of me, but it was like really bright. You wouldn't have been able to see me anyway. No. It's like, what does it matter? Like I could still sunbathe. Yeah. Like I wouldn't want to be doing a check-in sunbathing. Like but I can do a voice note sunbathing, which is like a check-in anyway. So like it was actually really nice. Yeah. Like it's just the thing is, I think because we hold ourselves to such a high standard, we're going like. It has to be a video check-in, but like the client's not going to go, oh my god, I can't see Finn, like what's going on?
I can't see Finn and it's on a one-off basis and I've been coached by him for 40 weeks.
Well, I'm sorry mate, I can't carry on.
Yeah, no, it is funny, like, it's a case of like we said, like the standards you set, like, what I spoke to you about in the car yesterday about a client who was like a bit off within the first few weeks of coaching, and you were like, "Are you his first coach?" I was like, "Yeah," and you were like, "That's
We
why."
always say that, don't we?
Yeah.
Like the amount of clients that we'll have who we are their first ever coach, and you'll get quite a lot that are like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! Like, I appreciate it so much." But then you'll get some who have never been coached, and they'll be like, they'll moan if you've taken 2 hours to get back to them. Like, they won't moan, but they might mention it or make a comment.
Yeah.
And like, I'll always say, like, I won't say it in like a snide way or anything, but I'll almost like try and outline to them what the service can be like if they were to go to other people. Like, I think almost every single client we've ever had that's come to us from another coach, especially when they start, we'll go, fucking hell, like, this is a lot better than what I've had before. Like,
I had two clients check in today for the first time, Connor and Alex. I don't know if I mentioned them. And Connor I'd worked with before, and he was like, he'd gone to I think a prep coach was like nearby, like locally, and like he'd done 2 weeks of his prep, and he was like, yeah, this is not as good. Like, so he's came back and he's taking over his prep. And then Alex, slightly different because he listens to the podcast, so shout out to Alex.
Who doesn't nowadays?
Yeah, he doesn't. And
all these people.
Yeah, all those people. Alex is definitely one of them. And hopefully Connor as well. If not,
while we're on that, if you're not one of them, make sure you subscribe. Bottom right corner.
Connor Flanagan. If you're not on that list,
Connor Flanagan. Yeah, Conran's mate.
Connor Flanagan.
Yeah, Conran's mate. You know Conran?
Oh yeah. When you said Conran,
you think about other Conran, yeah.
Yeah. So Connor, if you're not on that, mate, then your food's getting slashed, and you're going to be you're going to be in the trenches.
Let's get to 700 Spotify followers. So if you're not following on Spotify yet, please give us a follow, and let's get to 400 YouTube subscribers by the next month. Like by the end of this month, that's like a week.
Goals set.
Pretty ambitious, but
basically both of them had their first check-in today, and like they both pretty much said the exact same thing. Like Alex was like, I've worked with coach in the past, slightly different because of injuries and stuff like that. Before he worked with, he was like, I've not seen no one be this analytical regarding my training. He was like, I'm really excited to get back into the next sessions and sort it out because I've just been on it with his training. Connor, for example,
so much of it as well is just like competence. Like, I know for a fact, like if I was to receive the service that I provide, I'd be like, this is class. Like, this guy's on it. Like, I'd be very happy with the service provided. You know what I mean? I'd like the amount of times that a client will like message me, and obviously because I always have WhatsApp up on my laptop like through all the morning, like I'll get back to them within like a minute, and I'm like, that's fucking mint, and I'm like happy that I've done it. And like a lot of the time they'll be like, shit, thanks mate. Like, especially if it's a client who doesn't message you a lot, you know, like who doesn't have a lot of questions. Then when they do, you're like, bang, like, so you know, like you're constantly working. Or like I'll message someone at like 5 a.m. that's messaged me at 4:57 who's like up early as well, and I'll get back to them straight away, and I'm like, this is cool. Like, I like that feeling.
Well, mate, there was a few times like throughout the prep where I was waking up at like 3 a.m, 4 a.m, and like they woke up and they had their check-in. They were like, they're like 3 a.m. check-in, so they've sent their check-in through the night before, like let's say 9 p.m. They wake up and they had their check-in already.
You know, some that like send it at like midnight or 1, like 2 hours later.
2 hours later, they've got the check-in reply, and they're like, mate, such a good quality coaching service. I'm like, no, I just can't sleep. I'm too lean.
I actually feel awful.
I feel awful.
The check-in's horrendous because I'm fucked.
No,
it's not a good service.
I was sat literally in my room with my TV as the light, and I'm just sat there like, hey mate, I know it's 3 a.m, but I just can't sleep, so I thought I'd do a bit of work. Just literally, and they were like, I got a few replies like, never stop the grind. I'm like, mate, I wish I could.
I wish I could sleep. Get like that, because
natural preps. Like when I was lean naturally as like a teen and stuff, I dieted hard. It never impacted.
The only difference for me is I get tired earlier, so I go to bed a bit earlier, and I wake up naturally earlier. Like I literally last night I said to Shannon, I was like, I'm not going to set an alarm, and I'm just going to see what time I wake up, because I
never set an alarm.
Yeah, I always do, like, just because I like the same routine of like knowing I'm going to get up at the exact same time.
I wake up at the same time every day.
Yeah, to be fair, I do. Like, I didn't set an alarm because my alarm's 5:30. I've been waking up at 5:20. Yeah. This morning I woke up at 5:05, and it's like I just keep waking up a bit earlier. Like, but it's fine. Like, I don't mind, because when I wake up I feel fresh. Apart from my neck thing, like, proper trash. I can't train tomorrow. Yeah. But I feel good, and I've always got stuff to crack on with. So it's like I get up and I'm like, right, cool. Like, I've got a lot to do. Let's crack on. Like, it's a good feeling. Yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing, is that like my sleep, it's not amazing duration wise, but that's just because I don't feel like I need more. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if I was getting this amount of sleep peak off season, I'd be like, my sleep is shit. Yeah. I'm getting like 6.5 hours a night, but I'm just waking up and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to force myself to go back to sleep when I don't feel tired.
Yeah, you feel alright. Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like your body becomes a bit more efficient.
Yeah, loads more. Like, you're lighter, like everything digests a lot easier. Like everything is more efficient now, so it's like even sleep is a bit more efficient. But I still would like more. But it's almost like, well,
what's the total? What's
I pretty much get between like 6.5 and 7.
Yeah, that's alright.
It's alright.
Yeah.
I aim to like be asleep for 9:30. So then I've got like in terms of like time in bed, 9:30 until pretty much at the minute like 5. Because I'm waking up before 5:30. So that's 8 or 7.5 hours. But then obviously the aura ring, like you don't get 7.5 hours. It's like in terms of actual sleep versus time in bed.
Yeah.
I'm usually looking at like 6.5 to 7.
Well, it just depends on your readiness. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter.
My readiness wasn't great this morning. I only check it on. I don't check it every morning. I don't check it on training days. I check it on rest days in the morning. I check it on training days in the evening.
Yeah.
So that if I wake up on a training day and it's like 68, I'm like, I'm not gonna check it just for the sake of like not.
What's the lowest that you've seen on it?
32 when I had COVID.
Yeah. Like, mine was like
when you're really ill, like it's like 30. There's no 30. In between, is there?
No, it's
like,
either 30 or
like 70s. 70s to 90s.
No, I mean 70s. That was good for me. And
I'll
show you my graph. I might send it through to Sam. It's hilarious. I got my Oura ring in January, and I was like, that was when I was in Canada. And literally month to month this year, I've just progressively died. Like, it's literally like starts off at like 85, and then it's like 85, 80, 80, 70, 73, and it goes up, and then it's like 60, 50, 40.
That's all right though. I don't think I've ever seen anything within the 40s or the 50s. Maybe not even in the 60s.
Mine was just a constant state of just getting less.
I'm either like pretty much 80s plus 99% of the time, or I'm ill.
I was 80 plus for the first time 2 days ago. Got a crown.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I usually have a crown.
Yeah, I really.
Yeah,
I got a crown for the first time, and I was like in months, like 2-3 months. Yeah.
I'd say 90% of the time I have a crown.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm above 80.
What does a crown mean? Crown is a crown.
You're
just
just
like
a king.
good work.
Absolutely.
Good work. Recovery's on point.
Yeah. You're a king of recovery.
King of recovery. Fair enough. Yeah.
If we've got anything else to catch up on. I feel like we've not even caught up with anything.
No,
we're
just chatting. Shit. Yeah, we're just chatting. Prep for you, mate. 3 and a bit. Oh, should I say that about? I shouldn't have said that. But 3 and a bit. X weeks out from men's physique.
X weeks out, yeah. 3 and a bit. I mean X weeks.
Oh, X guys, not 3 and a bit.
5,
7, 8, 12.
Yeah. And I've got like other potential shows and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's not very hard to work out what show I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like,
do you reckon?
Not really. I tagged the 2 federations in my post that are a men's physique post.
Oh, I didn't see that. So.
Yeah, that's like, if anybody wants to actually find out, it's really not.
And to be fair, I say that like people spend way too much time on Instagram, so people would know.
Yeah, or nobody cares. Like we always say, nobody really cares. So yeah, anyway, I'm still not going to reveal it. But yeah, I've got a show relatively soon. To be fair, I've got quite a lot to update on because I had my high days. So
first high day of prep.
Yeah, so last week, pretty much from like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like I felt worse than I can remember. I think I felt worse than I ever felt even on the last prep, which is, again, I didn't feel horrendous really at any point in the last prep. It was maybe 1 or 2 times.
Not lean enough, mate.
But also it's just been ages since I last felt like that. So I probably did feel worse at times. But I think as well, like my food was higher last prep because I was on my feet all the time because I was PTing. So even though my steps weren't high, I was on my feet all the time. So I was burning a lot more calories. So like, I think my steps were only like 12,500. They're 13,000 now. But that 12,500 steps was like, 14 hours just on my feet.
Yeah.
Like, so,
which is a massive amount.
Yeah, like so much more than what I do now.
Yeah.
So my food was obviously higher. My expenditure, like my actual target expenditure was lower. I had to look through all my old data. It was actually really cool.
Loads, like.
So yeah, I looked through all of that and obviously like kind of compared, but not in like a negative way. Just like had a look. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, my food's lower now than it was last time. My expenditure's higher than it was last time, but also I'm not on my feet anywhere near as much. Yeah. And if you're PTing as well, you've got to be personable all the time. Like, it's just more calories burned. It's more mental energy.
Yeah, mental energy is so important.
Even just like putting plates away for people and stuff, like cleaning the gym, like things that I was doing at that time. Like, it's a very different. I was doing classes still. Like, I was doing like some classes like I was doing step and like abs classes and stuff. Like, obviously, I was burning a lot more calories.
God, I couldn't imagine that. Would be awful.
I used to quite enjoy step. Yeah. I used to just have a laugh with all the women. Like,
all the women are.
Yeah, it's a top shag.
Top shag.
It's just shag everyone.
I fucking love those girls. Oh, those are the days. Those are the days before Shannon.
Those are the days when, to be fair, Shannon never came to it. But I remember like,
why.
there'd be times that I'd like be doing a class on the gym floor and I could see Shannon. Yeah, basically, my expenditure was a lot higher then in terms of like actually what I was doing on a daily basis, but the targets were lower. But anyway, like I felt horrendous last week. And rate of loss started to slow down. I just felt really slow, like my legs were really heavy. Like I'd wake up and I felt like I'd run a marathon. Like my legs were just like really heavy, like absolutely trashed. It was weird. Even just like mental fatigue, like trying to do work, I just felt slower. So I was like, right, I think I need to feed up and rest a little bit. So basically what I did was Saturday I didn't do cardio. I usually do 35 minutes a day. Sunday I didn't do cardio. Saturday I did, I think, 8,000 steps instead of 13,000. And Sunday I did 10,000 steps instead of 13,000, which is just what I ended up hitting. Basically, I didn't have a goal. I was just like, I'm just going to have my normal routine, but lesser. Me and Shannon went walking about town and stuff, so it was, I ended up doing more. And then I had high day Sunday, so rest day, high day on Sunday, which was 600 carbs, and then a training day, high day on Monday, which was 800 carbs.
I said to you, because you were umming and ahhing about the Monday high day, and I was like, do it. I was like, you're never not going to do a 2-day refeed from this point.
I don't know, I probably would do. Like, I think I could do because.
Watch a 1-day feed.
Yeah, I think 1-day feed would be okay. I think a train maybe like that
I think
Monday
a 1-day training day, but I think on a rest day, like 600 carb, I don't think would do you much other than just holding.
I think I gained like 2.5 pounds from it.
Okay.
And I felt a lot better, and I looked a lot better. I looked a lot better after literally 2 carb meals. Like I had 240.
Changed.
Honestly though, like in all seriousness, Saturday post workout I looked awful. Like, I had no pump. I literally couldn't like contract. I'd do this with my bicep. Like now I can squeeze it.
Yeah.
It was literally nothing. You know, I showed you the abs and thigh.
Yeah.
My arms were non-existent. My arms are my only good body part, so that was a bit worrying. So I was like, right, I need to feed up. So yeah, Sunday I had my first 2 meals, which was 240 carbs by that point, went and posed. And like first round I was like, oh, look alright. Second round I was like, fuck, that actually looked pretty good. And Shannon was like, Jesus, like you actually look alright. Like, cause I just filled up straight away. Like I got a bit of a pump. So yeah, 600 and then 800, so 1,400 carbs across 2 days. I think I was 3 and a bit pounds up. I was 173 up to 176.5. So I think in future, when I do have a feed up, it'll either just be 1 day, or if I do 2 days, I'll just bring those down a little bit, because I don't think it needs to be that high. I don't really want to gain that much. I'd rather gain maybe 1 to 2 pounds and then be straight back to sort of a new low within 2-3 days. Whereas like now I was 174.5 or I think 174.75 this morning. So that's still nearly 2 pounds above my lowest. So like realistically by this weekend, start of next week, I should be down to like new lows. But I feel so much better. Like I'm more than happy to dig. I've hit 15,000 steps for the last 3 days instead of 13,000 just because I've been like, I want to do more. I feel fine to do more. So yeah, like feel pretty good. Look was so much better. Like Monday, Sam posted that photo this morning and I was like, fucking hell, like, I was really vascular. Like it was weird. I've never seen myself look like that. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like pretty cool. Like not to, you know, like that feeling where like I can't believe I actually look like that. Yeah. I've never really had that. Like even in the last prep, I don't remember looking at myself and going, "Fuck, I look pretty good," and I actually felt like that. So that was cool. So yeah, basically since Monday morning, since Monday morning back to normal expenditure. Back to baseline. Since Tuesday back to digging, like in terms of normal expenditure, normal food. I'm not going to make any changes yet. I'll just wait and see how things are over the next few days.
Yeah, I'd ride off like the fact that you're going to be feeling good, moving around a bit more.
Yeah. If I'm not down,
being better.
If I'm not down to a new low by Sunday, I'll make some changes. So it's like Thursdays and Sundays are my check-in days with myself, basically. But yeah, like feel so much better. Like I'm not one to moan, but I felt. Obviously, I said to you on Saturday when I was training, and I was like, I feel horrendous. Like I've not felt like that. Like I say, as long as I can remember. So I still like that Saturday session was still good. Still managed to, I think I matched on my stiff leg 180 for 6, which was like my main concern because I was like, it's like at the end of the session I was pretty trashed anyway. So I was happy with that. Performance is still pretty good. Like to say I'm again like probably as lean as I got last time. Yeah. Aren't I really?
Yeah, I'd say
my performance is so much better. Like last time, like I'd have tantrums every session, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Like I'd be getting pissed off with everything going backwards. Like. So yeah, like.
But your programming's better. Like everything's going to be better.
Grown up. Like,
and you've
matured a lot better.
Yeah. Like mental maturity is something like I had again today. Weirdly enough, I feel like I spoke to everybody about every issue we've had. Pat, shout out Pat. he said we swapped out his incline dumbbell press, and he was like, yeah, sometimes the dumbbell press won't go well, and it's the rest of the session's ruined. And like,
We
already,
used to be like that.
yeah, no, I said like this is
Probably
normal.
like 2-3
this
years
is
ago
normal.
we were
Like,
like
this is normal. I gave him a bit of a telling off, but I said like this is normal. Like it's not a bad thing. And like he's had check-ins where he's come into it and he's like almost like the whole week's negative based off just one thing, and it's like you can easily just lose your head slightly.
Expect things to be perfect, and like
Yeah.
I always
In a prep, like you have to be very much like exercise to exercise, set to set, rep to rep, and think not everything's going to be perfect.
I always sort of explain it to clients in check-ins as like a spectrum.
Yeah.
So like imagine you've got 0 to 100. Like most people see it as a switch, so they've got on and off.
Yeah.
So if everything isn't perfect, everything's shit.
Yeah.
It's like that's not how it works.
No.
Like if everything isn't perfect, like you're not 100%, but you might be at 90%.
Yeah.
One movement didn't go well this week. That's still a really good week. Everything else progressed. All food was balanced. Like that's an amazing week. One movement didn't go well.
Yeah.
But like 2-3 years ago, I think we'd have been the same. Where we'd go, why is that not progressing? And that all we'd focus on is a negative.
Yeah.
But like now, when you're mature, when you understand like
I think it's when you took
reasons
enough,
as to
you
why
took enough
as well.
like losses, and like
yeah, and
then
also you understand why things might
Yeah.
not be progressing, or
Yeah.
you understand like sort of the fact that stressing about it will only make it worse.
Yeah.
Like the stress caused from a movement not progressing is worse than the movement not progressing.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're going to go in next week, overanalyze,
Yeah.
overstress, and it's
It's
going
not
to
worth
be negative. So yeah, so performance has been good. Trained with Josh, didn't you, the last few days?
Yeah, so I had Josh Campbell, Josh Seafit, shout out to Josh.
Yep.
I know he listens to them all, so we do love you, mate. Thank you for making the trip. He'll be driving home now, so it's like a 6-hour drive for him. So yeah, basically Josh came down, stayed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then he's driving back today.
In his bed.
Stayed in my bed. Shannon was on the sofa. Yeah.
Yep.
No, he actually stayed in a really nice Airbnb. So yeah, thank you for coming over, mate. It does obviously really help. You get to see a client in person, and it's not a 2-hour drive or even like a 1-hour drive. Like it's a long drive for him. So I do appreciate it because it does make my life a lot easier to be able to see him in person. And he's looking very, very good. He's way ahead. Like I haven't had to push Josh like really at all. He feels good. He's genetically got a very sort of lean set point.
How he was
Anyway.
bowling yesterday, mate. He could be pushed a lot harder.
Yeah.
He had more energy than both of
Yeah,
us,
a lot of
like
energy.
with like 800
I
carbs
could
in our
tell.
system.
I could tell he was dragging a little bit
Yeah.
though. Like he's sort
He
of
will
saying,
be
"Oh, I
when
feel
you-
fine." Like, he
Yeah.
does feel fine, but he's not 100%. Of course, he's
No.
not. He's like nearly stage condition.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got a warm-up show coming up soon, and then also trained with Jack. So Jack Morgan, who came over from Wales on the Monday. So yeah, Jack's just over 9 weeks out. Probably it'll be just under 9 weeks out by the time this comes out. So it's the same like first main show as me. And again, looking very good. Main thing for him was posing, like making sure he's staying on his legs because he's a lot leaner than he
Food
looks.
focus.
Yeah, it's food focus. 27 rice cakes.
No.
Which, to be fair, that sounds like he's eating off plan. 27 rice cakes. No, he just had a high day and he chose to have 27 rice cakes in it. So it works for him. It works for him. I mean, it does, to be fair. So yeah, it's been a good week seeing clients. I would say a good week. Good first half of the week seeing clients.
Awful second half of the week now.
Yeah, I've already jinxed it. Sam filmed on Tuesday as well, so keep your eyes peeled for a new YouTube video.
Tuesday, Monday.
Monday, yeah. He's filmed on Tuesday, like for the last how many. Got like all my last like 4
Yeah,
videos
just
were just leg
legs.
sessions at Rotherham, so Sam was happy that it was a different session. But I think that's enough of an update on me and my clients and stuff.
Sound? I'll keep mine brief. Everything's good. Feel bad. We are 3.5 weeks post show. No, 3.5.
It's
4
like
weeks.
longer than that.
It's weird, yeah. Times is very strange after a show, but performance is picking up. I definitely feel a lot better. Still not 100%, like still way away from 100% if I'm honest. But at the same time, like it's one of those where like I take it week to week and I compare to like how I said this to you yesterday in the car. Like my Saturday session from the Saturday's just gone in comparison to the week before, completely different. Like
The Friday.
Yeah, the
that
Friday,
when
yeah.
I was there.
the Friday to Friday, I was
It was
like
horrible
yeah,
to be a part of it.
yeah, it was
Horrible
awful.
what?
It was awful. It was like watching a dying child.
It was.
No, it would be. It would be weird, like because you've seen me train the way I train. Then when
It
you
was
see
awful.
somebody and you see someone who literally can't train, like you'd almost be like, "What the hell's happened?"
That's
So
it.
yeah, no, it is. It'd be weird. It'd be like I've seen you do a set so many times. Then if I was to watch you then try and do the same set you've done 100 times, thousands of times, and you can't even do it, I'd be like, "What the hell's happened here?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel a lot
100
better.
kilos left.
Yeah, it's disgraceful. But yeah, a lot better in all aspects. Body weight rising, which is good. Still lean, still too lean for where I need to be, if I'm honest. But like definitely, like in a sense, like where I probably should have been, like maybe a week ago. So I'm probably about a week behind, but then I got ill, so I'm technically almost like a week behind in general. But there's no need to rush. Like I think like the conversation that I've been having with a lot of people is like the saying that, oh, you're still really lean, you're still really tight. Like, you know, you probably need to eat a bit more.
It's not like you're trying to be.
No, I'm not trying
like,
to be. It's
you're
just
eating a lot.
yeah, it's just.
Although you did gain 2 kilos this morning.
Yeah, 2 kilos up in one day, which is a bit strange, but more so just a bit of a routine change yesterday. So average weight is up where it needs to be. I originally aimed to be about, like when I go away, about 103 kilos. I probably won't be that. I'll probably be a bit less, but I've got plenty of time. There's no need to rush, and as long as my training is getting better, and like for example, my sleep quality is improving, my sleep time's still not amazing, sex drive's still not really there, but like these are the sort of things that will just get better with time and with body fat, and you can't really like rush the process. And if I feel better, like my mental energy is so much better, like I'm taking it and thinking there's positives. Like every couple of days, every week, if I have like a self-assessment, I'm like,
so
I
much
am
more alive.
Yeah.
Like even people will be able to tell from this.
Oh,
like,
100%.
compared to like a month ago.
And then visually, like I look really good. Like I'm really, really happy with the current visual. Like that being said, I almost think at times I don't want to pay attention too much to the visual, because you almost will always
Trying to compare stage condition.
Yeah, and it's like I'm still really, really, really lean,
you look
but
so much better from
Yeah.
a fullness, roundness, actual sort of size perspective.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was like, "Fucking hell, you actually look really big."
Yeah.
Like because you just looked small and depleted for
Yeah.
so long.
and like lifeless.
But if we were looking at you from a
Condition
perspective of
standpoint.
like getting in stage condition, I'd be like, mate, we really need to dig. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a different
Yeah,
mindset.
it's a weird sort of situation to kind of be in. Because like if I hit a men's physique shot, you're like, oh shit, I actually look like very much like men's physique now. Because I'm not stage condition, but I'm still very, very lean. But then at the same time, it's like it's a difficult sort of perception, because if I was to walk into a gym that I've never trained out of and take my top off, people wouldn't, let's say no one knew me, they'd probably be like, "Geez, how many weeks out are you, bro? You look wicked. You're peeled." But
From your back.
But no, my back, to be fair, is actually still pretty long. My back's lean. Like now, it's not shredded, but it's not
stage lean.
It's not. No, it's not stage lean. But I'm not saying it is stage lean. It's like saying your hamstrings or your legs are stage lean. They're not. They're like miles off. You know, like my
Not
back.
saying that.
No, but my back's not. It's not fat now. It's just not. It looks alright. It's normal. If anything, I'd say it actually looks probably better than what it did for the men's physique shows, because I'm full. So it's a weird sort of look afterwards. And also as well, when it comes to enhanced, like the enhancement side of things, obviously after a prep, if you're not an idiot, you're most likely
You said you're natty
Yeah,
now.
you're gonna
You
come
told
down
me
to
it was
a-
natty yesterday.
a physiological range of androgens. So you lose out on that androgen pop. So you get a fullness pop. You also then, let's say, things such as growth hormones gone back in. So that's going to be water retention or potential water retention. You then have obviously higher food. So as a result of that, that's going to be some glycogen and likewise water retention. And it almost kind of skews the visual, where like I look at myself and I'm like, my midsection's still sharp, but it's not as sharp. But then I'm really full and round, but then certain other areas look like a little bit better, a little bit worse. So it's almost like a completely different viewpoint. But overall, like it's more so based off training, and also like the honest assessment is I'm going to be getting fatter than this. I need to be fatter than this. So condition at this point is almost irrelevant. It's more so I go on holiday. I'm going to be going on holiday in pretty mint shape. And then it'll be a case of like getting into a growth phase once I get some bloods done after I'm back and everything's all good. So yeah. That's me. Training's getting better. Life's good. Feel good. Positive vibes. Let's get into some questions.
Okay, so
We've got like 20 minutes, I'd say.
Jake Byers, difference between BCAs and EAAs.
Okay. What was the? Should we go on to your intro video, mate? 'Cause someone asked, "Hey, mate, should I get BCA or EAA?" Do you remember you said yesterday you had a client that was asking you about EAAs, and then you were like, "Yeah, they're on the supplementation guide."
My
mate."
intro video. What are you on about?
What?
This is a client I've coached for ages. This is Charlie.
Oh.
So Charlie, this isn't Charlie that's asked this question, but Charlie was messaging me, one of my clients who I've coached for like 30 weeks or so,
Yeah.
asking me about supplements. I was like, mate, you've got a supplement guide on your sheets. Don't ask me on Instagram about supplements. Like, everything's on there. But yeah, basically, difference between BCAs and EAAs. So BCAs are branch chain amino acids. So it's only 3 of the 9 essential amino acids. So I think it's leucine, isoleucine and valine. I think that's all it is that they have in BCAs. And like usually it's like 2-1-1. Sometimes you can get like a ratio of 4-1-1. But basically, like in order to adequately spike muscle protein synthesis, which is what we're trying to do, we need all 9 essential amino acids. So basically, don't waste your time with BCAs. If you're wanting something like an EAA, or if you're wanting something to help with spiking muscle protein synthesis during a training session, or let's say if you're somebody who can't have a meal but can have a drink over a work shift or something like that, and you want to have another MPS spike, then use EAAs with a minimum of 3 grams of leucine, which is usually about 10 grams. Just double check on the label. 3 grams would be 3,000 milligrams, so just check. But yeah, use EAAs instead of BCAs.
Right, Finn, important. Rock, paper, scissors match. Who wins? Big match up this. You usually beat me. You ready?
Yeah.
We're going to go.
Yeah, go on, go.
Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, go. Yeah,
Finn wins.
I can read his mind.
The win percentage is like, honestly, like
90,
85%. Yeah, it's silly. I always get beat. Right, Daniel Regan has asked. I did a rapid fire last minute questions. Reese versus Jack Eagles. Who wins now? Classic bodybuilding.
Jack.
I'd probably.
Jack's posing's better.
Jack's posing's better, but I think physique for like pose for pose, I think it'd actually be quite close. He beat me from the front. I think. I don't know. I think it'd be a good battle. I quite like to. That'd be good.
I think because
if we're going off the recent showings, I'd do him from the rear. I'd do him from the sides. The side shots and the rear shots, I think I'd do it. But I think from the front, you do me. But then also, structure. I don't know. I think Jack's got. We're very opposite physique-wise, and he's also. I'm going to say he's trained to be a classic BB for longer. So I'm going to say that. But
that's
I think there's pros. Yeah.
He's actually trained for it, and he's posing like a lot.
Yeah.
Better.
Posing-wise, yeah, 100%. But I think there's certain things in our physiques that like it would be. I'd tick a few boxes, he'd tick a few boxes. Condition-wise, I'd do him, so that'd be one thing.
He's looking actually in shape for this point this time.
Yeah,
well done, mate.
Yeah, but that's not Jack's fault. Last time it was where he was like 8 weeks out. He was like, "I'm so fat." He was like, I think he was on the treadmills at Rotherham, and he was like, "I'm so fat."
That's when everything got doubled.
Yeah, he was like
doubled and half.
Doubled and half protocol. Everything that could be somewhat positive was doubled, and everything that could be negative was halved. So it was like food halved, cardio doubled, PEDs doubled, lipolytics doubled. Oh,
sorry if there was a gap. Sorry if there was a bit of a gap where the audio was a bit shit then. For some reason it's like after an hour or something it cuts off. Carry on though, mate.
Sound. Right,
sorry
yeah,
about that, Sam.
That's that. Josh has said, "Can I come on again? I miss you both." Josh has said this.
Yeah.
Josh asked about an invite.
I think he's struggling.
To our
emotional.
He asked about an invite to like one of our bowling date nights.
Well, actually, Josh was supposed to come and see me last Tuesday at Rotherham to go through posing. He was like, "I'll be there at 3:30." Which never turned up. So no, you're not coming on, mate.
Fair enough.
Jacob Phillips, body feels fatigued whilst doing cardio/steps. What is this a sign of? What would you do?
Body feels fatigued and doing cardio steps. Well, you have to assess why you're fatigued.
Yeah.
I was like saying it again because I was like, have I missed out on something here? Like
it might just be that you're getting relatively lean. I'm going to imagine, let's say you're in a diet phase, you're going to be feeling fatigued. It might be that you're potentially, your rate of loss is too fast and you need to slow it down. You need to maybe pull back, either take a couple of days off of cardio and reduce steps, maybe have a couple of higher food days, maybe you just need to, let's say, maybe your cardio and your steps are really high to the point where they're just unnecessarily high, like especially if you're not in a contest prep or a photo shoot prep or something like that with almost like an immediate goal with expenditure needing to be high. Pull it down, even if it means reducing food a little bit. If you feel like you're fatigued, take a deload. There's loads of different reasons, loads different tools you could use. But in terms of if you just all of a sudden feel like I feel really trash with my cardio and my steps all of a sudden, and usually I'm fine, then your body's probably just trying to tell you that you're a bit trashed. Take a bit of a step back,
or
take a couple of days off cardio.
Probably something you might just have to embrace and think.
Yeah, it depends. That's what I mean. It depends on the goal. Yeah. If you've not got a goal of like a photo shoot or a contest prep, like peak off season, if a client was going, "Mate, I'm absolutely fucked with my cardio and my steps," I'd be like, "Right, we don't need to be doing this much then."
But sometimes you just have a few days where it might be where you sleep poorly, stress is high, or you might just feel a bit more tired and you're like, "I'm so fatigued," because everyone overanalyzes and it's like everything's analytical. When sometimes, imagine, let's say when we were dieting before we actually probably had the know-how that we do now, you probably would have some cardio sessions where you were like, "God, that was a challenge," but then the following day you'd be sound. Yeah, you'd be fine.
I have that now. I have days where cardio feels a lot easier than others.
Should prep feel like you're mentally fucked and losing everything around you?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. This guy's like quite close. I think he's like 6 weeks out. So yeah, I think it's when it comes to mentally fucked, you should feel mentally drained. You're going to have lesser kind of cognitive function. I don't know about losing everything around you. I more so would say that's probably being maybe a little bit over dramatic. I don't think everything's like just you're losing everything. But at the same time, like you are probably going to notice things about yourself where you're like, oh shit, maybe mentally a little bit all over the place without realising. And that's part of pushing your body and it's part of getting in true condition. This guy's really in good nick. So like this is probably your first time, you're being pushed, you've still got plenty of time, let's say, to the show, so you're thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm going to feel like this for ages. But it is a case of understanding it is going to be hard, but routine, structure, making sure when, and again, it's giving yourself time to switch off. Like when it comes to mental energy, if you have an evening where you can just put something on, chill out, do it. Like that's literally the most important thing, switching off when you're in a prep.
I'd say it's a bit sort of an over-exaggeration saying everything's falling apart. Like if that's the case, then it's probably something that you are maybe doing. Like for example, if you've had a relationship break apart, if you've lost all your friends, like if it's like it's probably, if you've fallen out with your family, it's like okay, you probably need to work on how you're managing the prep because that's not just like oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it's a prep. Oh yeah, everyone hates me.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Charlie, who I was literally just speaking about with the supplements. He asked me this on my own questions. I got back to it in the car on the way here, so I'll let you answer it. What would be your pre-workout meal, supermarket / meal deal edition? So his question to me before was like, let's imagine you couldn't prep food at home and you had to like go into a supermarket and just get a pre-workout there and then. What would you get?
So anything from a supermarket?
Yeah. That you have to eat there and then, like you can't heat it up or anything like that.
Cooked chicken, rice cakes, and dark chocolate. Or that would be it.
I actually forgot to say protein source when he asked me what
What did you say?
I said dark chocolate. I was just thinking of carb sources. I don't know why. I said bananas.
Yeah.
I said dark chocolate. I said cereal bars or rice cakes.
Yeah.
I said if I was on a lot of food, I'd get like a oat pot and get like a kettle.
Okay.
Or like just like oat bars. I didn't
say
say protein source.
Something like that.
Saurine class. He also asked if there was only one exercise you could do for the rest of your life, what exercise would it be?
I feel like we answered this. I'd say leg press. Leg press.
What? And no upper body training forever?
No, probably deadlifting. Like a hip hinge. Medium incline Smith, bro.
Just for my only good body parts. Incline dumbbell curl because my arms look mint when I do it. And that's all I've got going for me.
I'm trying to think like what one exercise could you do that
you'd have to do something like it'd be something where, to be fair, it would have to be some form of deadlift realistically, but
I'd say like a snatch grip deficit. Snatch grip deficit.
You're gonna have no chest or delt work ever again.
No, but I think just like the overall stabilisation of how wide the grip is, I'm thinking I can like really try and focus on driving my elbows in, get some isometric pec contraction. And then like maybe at the top think about like having a bit of a shrug as well.
There would be a certain movement that you could probably get almost everything. Well, like clean and jerk.
But we're not going to... I'd love to do a clean and jerk. Imagine every time you go into the gym you have to do a clean and jerk. Jesus Christ, or a snatch, whatever it is. Fuck that. I couldn't imagine anything worse. Literally be awful. Right. If I sucked a dick, does that mean I'm gay? How much would it cost you to let me suck your toes? Big fat Bailey. Cheers, mate. Moving on. Hope you're good, mate. Do you know any reason why wouldn't get hypos when food is pretty low, but then as food increases, start to get them? Yeah, I've had this happen plenty of times. I think it's quite common, if I'm honest. Like literally hypo, like when it comes to going hypo, it's going to be, let's say, blood sugar and like insulin, let's say, spiking. And usually I find I actually had like I've always been very, very sensitive to hypos, really, really sensitive, incredibly such. Like whenever I get my bloods done or whenever I actually assess blood glucose, and likewise I remember I told you about this at uni, and like I was like literally in between diabetic and a normal individual relative to like how quick my body goes through carbs, and likewise blood sugar levels constantly. So I've dealt with this pretty badly, and I always get it when I diet. And I actually only got it severely on the days or the days after I had my high days. So on the low days, I was like relatively sound. Like I'd go hyper if it'd been a longer time, or I was walking about, and maybe I hadn't had a meal for a longer amount of time than usual. But it's quite common. You have a little bit more food, let's say insulin sensitivity or insulin's going to spike up, and then as a result of that, like you're literally just going to be processing through food a little bit more. You might be moving around a bit more, and as a result, yeah, hypos potentially could be more common. But it is very genetic in person.
It's not just situation about like, it's not just about how high your food is. It's about the peaks and the troughs. Yeah, it's the balance of your blood sugar levels. Yeah. It's not just the absolute level or the absolute amount of carbs you're having. So. Yeah. It does make a bit more sense. Plus, you probably, what you notice with most people is when you have more food, you expend more energy. So it's kind of like it works, it almost counteracts itself anyway. So you have higher food, you end up having a better session, or you're moving more, burn more calories, you then have more chance of going hypo than when you're on less food, moving less. You're a lot more lethargic, you're slower, there's less risk of sort of a big peak into a trough. Yeah. JPMVMT. Do you think it's food related? How to bring up confidence / self-belief / mentality to a physique / person you aren't used to being? It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
He is quite he's quite a timid person, is Jack, and like
just wing it, bro. No,
it's one of those like.
I think this is a lot more common
takes
than
time.
People. Yeah, it's a lot more common than people realise.
Yeah, like, I think people think every bodybuilder is confident and thinks they look mint, and like that's not the case at all. No. As well as that, like literally fake it. Like on show day, like Jack will have to fake confidence.
Yeah,
100%, because he's not the most confident person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm relatively confident.
Remember Matthew?
Matthew's quite a shy,
like really shy.
Person.
Like doesn't hit his poses backstage. Wasn't smiling. Seemed really like awkward and nervous. Like because that's how like he comes across like that. But not saying he's awkward or a nervous person.
No, he's like timid.
Yeah, he's quite shy. Like he's quite reserved.
Which is fine. Like
walks out on stage, smiles, hits his pose with confidence. I was like, Jesus Christ,
yeah, you do that put on a show.
Yeah, and I was like, mint. And I said to him afterwards, that did not seem like you.
But you've got to almost think like it is almost to an extent like you're acting. Like if you think like if you're to meet a famous actor, they're not going to be exactly like they are in your favourite film that they're in or something.
Well, you're saying The Rock isn't The Rock in every single film. He's The Rock. The Rock is always The Rock in every situation.
That's not. Yeah, I'm not on about just him. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody. Yeah. Like you will have to act to that situation. Yeah. Like so, it's pretty normal. Like, and the thing is as well, like throughout a contest prep, like you're not. If you're somebody who just wakes up every morning like I'm the fucking dog's bollocks and I look amazing, like you're probably not going to get in shape because you're putting yourself sort of on a pedestal, thinking you're better than you are, thinking that you are going to win if you don't put the work in. Like, and nobody will win if they don't put the work in. Like, at the end of the day, you'll get beat by somebody who is maybe nowhere near as good as you genetically, but they've put in that extra work. So, like, whether you're confident or not, whether you're that, what do you think is that type of person? Probably most people aren't that type of person anyway. Like, it's almost like it's not. I'm not saying it's an act, but you have to learn to be a bit more confident and accept that. Again, with Jack, like nobody gives a shit. Like if he's posting on social media in his boxers, in his trunks, like nobody cares. And if they do, like fuck them. Who cares? Like what? Who cares what anyone else thinks? Yeah. So I was saying this to Josh yesterday. Right, Josh comments on what other people are doing like all the time. Like the amount of times he must have said something about someone, like not in a negative way, but just like noticing what others are doing in the gym or commenting about someone else. And like every time I just go, like I don't care. Like, and for people who have enough going on within their own life and are busy and they've got stuff to be doing, you don't care. And most people, that's the case. Most people have enough going on in their own life that they don't care what anyone else is doing. And if they do, then it's like it's a bit sad that that's all they're bothered about. Yeah. Like the guy that commented on my post saying, "Can you change your hair, please?" Change your haircut, please.
Fair enough.
So I commented, I think I just liked the comment and I put it on my story and put, "Will do, mate." And then I put underneath, I was like, "I don't have a clue who this is." And then he messaged me, he was like, "I'm from Poland, I really like bodybuilding, I just thought your hair looked weird." It's like, what the fuck? Like, why do you care?
Ask him what you think what should you do, get him on a report?
Why do you care though? Yeah. Like, literally, it's so weird.
Yeah, it is funny. But again, I think you answered it well.
Yeah, but there isn't a definitive answer. It's not like, oh, do this and you'll be really confident. Like, there isn't an answer.
No.
It's time, it's working on it, it's faking it a bit. it's putting yourself out of your comfort zone. Like, if you think about it, when you first ever put an Instagram post about like a fitness related post, were you confident to do it?
Yeah, no chance.
No.
I got like
When you first
I
put a
remember
YouTube
back
video
into
on.
school. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Like, people mention it for weeks.
Mate, my mates took the piss out of me. They probably still do. Like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Right, Ben Kelsey Fitness, BKL Fitness.
Yeah, I've got it.
Shout out Ben.
My
Very
next,
good.
My next question.
Oh, fair enough. Do you want to go?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. So he's asked, "Hope you're good, bro." I'm all good. Maybe Finn. Finn, did he say on yours? Hope you're good.
No, he just put.
He didn't ask, bro. He didn't care about you.
He kind of cares about me.
He said, "MP split for arm and delt focus, please."
Plus,
He said please, but I said please.
okay.
So men physique split for arm and delt. I think similar to what I was running previously. So like you could do like a push and arms one day. So let's say Monday push and arms, Tuesday lower. Wednesday could be like a pull and delts or an upper session. That could be an arm session, or it could be just an upper body focus session. Thursday you could rest. Friday you could have push, and then Saturday you could have pull, and then you could literally do biceps on the pull and push session towards the latter end of the week, and you can therefore hit arms at a pretty high frequency. And then likewise delt focus. If you're doing like a pull and delt session, you can do you could be doing delt work on push and arms on the Wednesday session and on the push session, and you could easily have that push session as actually just a delt and arm day as well. So it could almost be like, for example, push and arms, pull and delts, and then it could be, or it just could be pull and then pull and arms, and then it could be delts and arms and then pull with a lower session.
Just one leg day.
Yeah. So I'd say 1 leg day, 4 upper body kind of days, 2
Split
hitting
into whatever you need.
yeah,
on.
split into how they're broken down. That would most likely be the go-to. I personally think, especially for the vast majority, like, could you just have an arm day and just a delt day? Yeah, you could, but then I think you could combine them, and
Yeah,
you could
easily
do other
combine the delt and
workload
arm day.
involved in that. Because even for a men's physique guy who, Ben, you're very good, but I would personally be saying, like, on those days you could still be doing some pull work or some pressing work and improving your chest, improving your back, etc. Instead of just going to the gym being like, I'm a men's physique guy, I must just do
Like side
just
delts and
just side delts and arms. When in reality, like, yeah, you could do that, but like, in my opinion, I think a lot of men's physique guys, unless you're at like the elite level, you don't warrant that. Like, I don't think many warrant that. I think you could just do more
arms.
workload.
Recovery, you can get away with more than that.
100%. Yeah.
So he asked me, excited for your MP shows? Question mark. Looking great, bro. Thank you, mate. And yeah, I am. And to be fair, like, it's a weird one. It's coming around very quickly. I'm not really thinking about it because, like, in my head, I'm a lot further out because they're not my main shows. So it's like I'm 9 and a bit weeks out, but I've got shows before that. So I'm not really thinking about them that much. And I wouldn't say I'm overly excited for them. To be fair, I think I'll be excited on the day, close to the time, and I think it'll be cool to see how I look. But yeah, I'm not overly excited for them. I still need to get trunks. I bought 2 pairs of trunks from Alta. I don't like either of them. Well, the first one just didn't go above my knee. The second one's just not very nice. I need to get some more.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you need to actually give me the ones I've asked for.
Okay. I'll have a look. Jordan Williams, another natural men's physique guy.
Yeah.
2 natural men's physique guys. Surprised they're not competing against each other. Eventually, Jordan's a lot younger, but Jordan's very good as well. So shout out Jordan Williams. Hope you're doing well, bro. I'm doing well. Finn, he didn't ask about Finn's. Finn hasn't asked about anything. These naturals like me more than you.
Yeah.
Don't know why. I'm natural now.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Hope you're doing well, bro. Opinions on naturals winning and tested feds. And then he's messaged me saying, like, e.g., like, likelihood. Carrying on with my question.
in a few weeks.
Yeah, the likelihood when the right time for a natural to become competitive in a tested feds, how much harder do you think it is to win being natural in any given class? Well, it's a bit of a challenging one because you don't know who depends.
Yeah,
It depends on who
literally
turns
that's all
up.
it is. Depends
Like,
who turns up.
PCA, for example, you'll see people who, like, for example, in bodybuilding, the amount of times that we've gone to a PCA show and I've thought, like, Jesus Christ, the condition here is an absolute joke. Like, there's not a single person in the bodybuilding lineup, like, other than maybe 2 or 3, and usually there'll be one good guy who wins the overall, but the standard of conditioning is horrendous in comparison to, like, you go to a natural show, the conditioning is so much better, like, across the board, and I think we could both flat out say that. Like,
Yeah,
average PCA
usually.
show in comparison to an average, like, not an average, to normal, like, natural show, conditioning's a complete different ballgame when it comes to natural bodybuilding, in most cases. But at the same time, like, we've gone to PCA shows and we've gone, like, Jesus Christ, the overall lineup's mint, or like the standard was really, really good. It entirely depends, and you can only bring the best sort of look. For someone like Jordan, for example, PCA sound like he's literally, if in a sense, what they look for men's physique nowadays, which is good for Jordan, and he's only going to continue to get better as a result of that. But at the same time, if someone turns up who's got 20 kilos extra of muscle mass and still hits the criteria, Jordan will get beat based on the fact that he's not enhanced and that guy's got more tissue than him and potentially maybe outstructures him due to his tissue. So it's one of those, like, there's going to be a lot of competitive, like, if Josh Croggan was to enter PCA shows this year, Josh Croggan would be very, very, very good. But would it be a fair playing field against some other enhanced individuals? No, because he's natural. But that's the risk you kind of play, isn't it? Like, I say it's a risk, no, it's the situation you're in.
Yeah.
And you can't complain. You can't complain about it. Like, I had Eddie Sims, first show of the year. He came second to a guy who won the overall, who was enhanced. He looked really, really good. I think he was a Scottish lad. And
he was very good.
Yeah, he was really good. And afterwards, Eddie was almost like, "Oh, I beat 2 people on gear. The guy was on gear. He's on this much, that much." And I said to him, like, "You've entered an untested show. You can't."
There's no point like going on about it.
Yeah, like, you can only bring your best package. And if you look awesome, sound like, if he didn't turn up, Eddie wins that class, and he's feeling on top of the world. He beat 2 guys that were on gear. Likewise, Jordan. If Jordan, let's say, I think he won his last show. Let's say Jordan gets 5th to 4 guys who are all on gear. That doesn't mean Jordan's got worse.
But he looks mint.
Yeah, sound. You've got to take what you can. So yeah.
Yeah, the competition dictates everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you want to wrap it up?
Do you have any other questions?
Got one more.
Yeah, go for it.
Thomas Hemmings, thank you for the question, mate. Not enjoying training whilst in a diet, just mentality. Been dieting over 3 months, so he's not enjoying his training whilst he's in a diet. Is it just his mentality, or is he dieting for too long? Yeah, it depends on where you're at, depends on what your goal is, depends on how lean you are, depends on what the phase is. Like, again, you know, are you dieting for a purpose? Is it a case of a holiday or something like that, or are you just dieting to get a bit leaner for another push-up phase? Is it just mentality? It depends. You know, if you, let's say, ran 3 months of dieting without any kind of refeed or diet break, or have you ran 3 months of training without any kind of devolume sessions or deloads or anything like that, maybe you need to pull back a little bit. Also, don't compare your diet training, like the end of a diet versus a off season. Don't be thinking like, why am I not loving it as much, or why am I not progressing at the same rate? You're not going to. That's part of it. Yeah, you know, don't try and compare it and think I should be feeling the same. Like, training, there's a reason that we don't diet all the time. Training's not as enjoyable, training's not as progressive, hormones aren't in as good a spot, energy levels aren't as high. So, you know, there's a reason that we don't diet constantly. You know, otherwise we'd just stay in a deficit and look lean all the time, or stay at maintenance in really lean levels of condition. So yeah, there's a sort of multiple different facets to it. But again, like we said earlier with that other question, like, what is the main goal? Is the main goal for you that you need to get leaner for a holiday or a photo shoot or something like that? Or is it just a case of I want to be a bit leaner before another push-up? Are you at that point where you could just push back up? If you are, then get out of the diet. You don't need to spend time there if you're not training well, or you're not enjoying training, or hormones are in the bin.
I often find, like, it wouldn't surprise me, this might not be to Tom, but he's 12 weeks into a diet, he might not be pushing that hard, so he's not seeing that much progress.
So it gets a bit,
he's
like,
maybe having a few off-plan meals, or a few things that are being slightly unaccounted for, and like, you end up almost spinning your wheels, where like, you're in a deficit, but like, you're not really losing a lot of weight, and you're like looking a bit better, but you don't have a lot of muscle mass because you're early on in your training career, and you're almost just like, I just feel a bit meh. And like, as a result, training's not amazing, and everything's like, and you're comparing, and then you're over-analysing, and it's like, why am I even doing this? And I've had diets before where like, I've been in that situation when I was younger, and it's just like, you end up like, yeah, you make some improvements, but like, in my opinion, I'd rather just push really hard for a shorter period of time, be in and out, and then back into a spot where you're going to be growing and that's what I'd be doing. Or I'd really, as Finn said, be reassessing and thinking, what are my goals here, and do I even need to be doing this?
Yeah.
And
it's two options, either like, really push
or
get
just
it done, or
get out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's almost how I'd be. So yeah, he also, Tom, to be fair, did ask actually a few more. He said off-season lift goals. Do you have any immediate ones that spring to mind?
I'd like to chase down 4 plates on a Smith press.
Yeah.
I'd like to be like able to flat bench 3 plates for like an easy set of like a decent amount of reps.
We're going to flat bench together one day.
Yeah,
both
maybe.
Flat? That'd be good fun.
I'd like to pull 6 plates off the floor.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a pretty good row, whether it be like a dead stop row or a dead stop T-bar or something like that.
Did you do that with me?
Yeah, I'd like to have some form of a squat back in, like some form of a hack squat.
Yeah.
Also, I've got a pendulum and a belt squat at the minute, but I'd like to have like some form of a hack back in and get like some pretty impressive numbers on that, whether it be the Cybex or whether it be the Gym Echo maybe.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'd say like 4 and a bit plate bent row from the floor. Like I'd like to pull 320, just like from the floor for reps, like a good solid 5+. I'd say Smith press 5 plates, which would be quite fun. Done 4.5 before, so I think that's quite realistic once I've got a bit more body fat on me. I'd like to.
Like if you're doing 5 plates, if I can get 4 plates.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good race. We both just end your prep and let's just both get fat and strong. Like, come on. Flat bench. I'd like to. Did 200 for a triple, which is good. Like I can't even think about doing that now.
Yeah, but mine's like like let's say
imagine 200 for 10
for reps. Like mine's like 140 for reps.
Yeah, 200 for 10 would be wicked. That'd be pretty. Like 5 plates for like. I know, triple to 5, that'd be good. Like 5 plate flat bench, jeez. But the thing is, like, if I'd carried on pushing up, I probably would have got that. Shouldn't have prepped. Fucking what a waste of it.
Honestly, like,
wasted.
I'm happy to get up to 250 plus next time.
Yeah, let's just both. We are going to get stupidly fat, guys. Honestly, prepare.
I don't think because you'll probably be prepping again relatively soon after.
Yeah.
Whereas I probably won't prep for. Depends, but it wouldn't surprise me if I don't prep for like quite a long.
I need to prep because I'm going to be getting so fat. So fat, £300. But yeah, so that's the ones that spring to mind off the top of my head. Leg press, I want 15 plates on the side by squat press. Done 13.5.
I never find like
I don't
presses,
find
like
leg
it's not
presses.
impressive because it depends on like so much.
But I'd like 15 plates on that. And then other than that, just like get my performance up to where it was before, and then some, which will be pretty strong, because I actually used to train relatively well, like strength wise. I've had a few people, mate, where they spoke to me about gym numbers, and I've said, like, they asked me about like deadlifting, and I was like, oh yeah, I've done this before, or like and like they look at me like I'm like surprised. Like I've had a few people that like I spoke to at shows, and they would talk about deadlifts, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to get like a 320 deadlift, and they're like, and I was like, I've done 300 before, and they're like, what? Or I've like said like, oh yeah, I want a Smith press like X amount of weight, and then I was like, mate, I've done 4 plates for a set of 10 on a Smith high incline or medium incline. And they're like, really? And I'm like, oh, it's painful. So I need to actually.
Obviously, it doesn't reflect.
Yeah, it doesn't reflect my physique. Oh, just people don't know. I used to actually be relatively strong, not anymore. Sad times. Right, that's the podcast, guys. Thanks for everybody for listening. Thanks for all the story tags. Please get us to, what do we say?
400 subscribers and 700 Spotify followers, please.
Please get on it, guys. Right, that's that. Thanks as always, guys. We shall catch you in the next episode. See you later.